Hey, this is Michaela, and you're listening to Dan Lupinski on the Dan Lupinski radio program.
Thank you, Michaela. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the Dan Lupinski radio program. I am your host, Dan Lupinski, and very grateful for you to join me this afternoon. My guest is Vida Ghaffari, TV film actress, voiceover artist, host, producer, and media consultant. So, Vida, say hello to everybody.
Hello, thank you so much for having me guest, Daniel. It's an honor to be back on your show. Thank you so much for thinking of me again.
Oh yeah, it was nice to talk. Nice to talk to you again. So how have you been?
I'm doing great. There's a lot of great things going on. So again, I'm very appreciative for this performance, for this, inviting me on your show. I'm really, really grateful. Lots of exciting developments since we spoke last time, and I'm eager to talk to you guys.
Sure. Now, first of all, you've been nominated for an entrepreneur award. Is that right?
Yes, by the wonderful Luzine Caribbean. She's the founder and CEO of the World Network. She's a force. She's in her late 20s, and she's managed to create this wonderful organization for networking. She's a networking queen. Her name is Luzine Caribbean, and she does these fabulous events. She's gone to China and promoted the World Networks. They're starting up there. They're starting up in the U.S., in Houston, in San Diego, all across the country, all across the world, actually. There's different outlets of this World Network. And I've met some incredible people, and, just knowing her is awesome. And I'm very honored to say I'm in the company of some amazing people that are being nominated, fashion designers, people that have cosmetic companies, fashion lines, beauty lines, people in media, finance, the editor of Gen Lux magazine. So I'm in wonderful company, and one of the gals from Polyscoop, who is the founder of Polyscoop. So I'm very, very, very excited about that.
Well, that's pretty nice. Now, Vida, where are you originally from?
The pronunciation of my name is Vida.
Vida.
I'm originally from the D.C. area. I was born and raised in the D.C. area.
Okay.
And I was a journalist on Capitol Hill. And I did do acting back east, but a lot more here, obviously, because that's a government town. But yeah, I studied improv and sketch at UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade, which one of the founders is Amy Poehler. Haven't met Amy Poehler yet, but I took some great classes there.
Okay.
And I minored in theater and journalism at the University of Maryland. So I did a lot of that. I performed a lot in their black box theater. So that's basically where I got my start. I was on TV for 5 years. I was a host for Persian TV. So that's basically most of my background is either in journalism or in acting. And I've been a voiceover artist since 2008.
Okay. So now you won some more awards and nominations at the for Strangers in the Book, and also Seeking Valentina, along with our friend Kristen West.
Yeah, Kristen is lovely. That was wonderful. I have 4 nominations from the Fantastic Film Festival, which is a wonderful festival started by Mike and Joanne Thomas.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them. Big shout out to my manager, Matt Chasen, as well, for making that happen for me. That was a wonderful, wonderful event, the Fantastic Film Festival. I urge all horror fans to come every Halloween to San Diego to check out the Fantastic Film Festival. It's wonderful. I had 4 nominations for Strangers in a Book and Seeking Valentina. Seeking Valentina is a great film. It's about a mysterious, whimsical woman named Valentina who is very mysterious, and she just turns up in this guy's life, and as soon as she's in his life, he's constantly seeking her. So hence the title Seeking Valentina. There's a great cast. It was written and directed and produced by Armin Nasseri, who's very talented, award-winning filmmaker. Kristen West is in it. Ali Bavarian's in it. Srini Karpavasavu from Outsourced is in it. Just a wonderful, wonderful cast. And Mo Whelan was one of the producers, and she's tremendous. It was just a great group of people. And I was lucky enough to shoot one day in North Hollywood, whereas everyone else, they had to go to Big Bear and they had to go to Ojai, and it was like this crazy, crazy shoot. But for me, it was just one nice, really fun day, and my supporting role as the sister Anna of the lead character that Ali played.
Okay.
And then for Strangers in a Book, it was interesting because I'm a character actress, but I was a lead in this film. So as Samuel L. Jackson would say, I was a character lead. So that was a lot of fun. It was written and produced by Pedram Navav. Mark Resmani was the director. We had an amazing DP, David S. Barron. Kristen again was in this film. We had John Mack from Saw 6, Christy McGinnis-Gibble from Little Women LA, Carl Bressler, he's a renowned character actor. He was in The Usual Suspects. We just had a great, great cast of really, really talented people, and I was really honored to work with them. Our stylist for the shoot, Puna Navab, did an amazing job, and she should be noted. Pedram is a really talented writer. He's also a lawyer, a doctor. He actually is nominated for a Pushcart Prize. So it was a really interesting, well-written piece, and I was honored to be a part of that as well. They won an award at the Action on Film Festival, so that was a wonderful, wonderful experience with great people. And it just goes to show indie filmmaking, you don't need a lot of money, you just need a lot of heart to make these movies.
Right. What was this Stranger in the Book? What was that mostly about?
Strangers in the Book was, again, it was kind of, instead of more of a horror, it was more of a thriller. It was about this woman, her name is Sarah, I played Sarah. She was a very depressed, yet very winsome young woman. She, was this hipster girl. She works in a bookstore, in a record store, and she comes across a book, and it's a very mysterious book, and she's constantly seeking stuff out in her life. She's seeking stuff out with the book. It's all about this woman's journey, and she meets this crazy cast of characters along the way to solve this mystery of this book, one of them being John Mack, who plays a lady of the night named Bettina, Christy McGinnis-Gibble, who plays a tattoo artist, Storm, Kristen, who plays like a very charming but sassy a woman named Destiny. Marv Laval is also in it. He was amazing as Dominic, the homeless guy. And Carl is known for playing characters with the name Berg. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for it. And he's played Berg the most times. And he was playing Mr. Berg this time. We wanted to add a twist to it. And the funny part of that was that it's the first time he's doing voiceover, and it's the first time he's a Mr. Berg. Usually he's a Berg. So that had a fun twist to it to have Carl in it. But it was shot in black and white. It was very ethereal. And it was a wonderful project to work on. I love the clothes, I have to say. So it had 8 nominations total, and it was a blast. I had a great time working with everyone. One of the talented people.
One of the nominations was Best Fantasy Horror Film.
I'm sorry?
I said one of the nominations was Best Fantasy Horror Film.
Yes. It had a nomination for Best Fantasy Horror Film. It was really like a fantasy. It was like when you watch it, it's like a dream. So it was really fun to be a part of that. Usually I do character roles, so it was interesting to be the lead role in something like that. So and usually the actresses that were the characters were the supporting were the lead. So it was an interesting interchange working with them. It was a really talented bunch of people. I'm very pleased with that project.
Okay. You want to talk about any other films you've done?
Sure. I recently wrapped a music video. It was directed by Thomas J. Churchill, who's directed Checkpoint, Lazarus Apocalypse. He's a very talented, multi-award-winning filmmaker. I did the master plan music video for Roland Bolin. He's Mark Bolin's son, and his mother was a famous singer, too. She sang the original Tainted Love, and his father, Mark Bolin, was the lead singer behind T-Rex, which sang the song Get It On. So this guy is like, musical royalty. And I just did his video last week with him, with Mel Novak, who's an acclaimed character actor who's known of playing villains. Of course, he was a villain in this video. Mel was in Black Belt Jones. He was in Bruce Lee's Game of Death. He's a very, very talented actor. He's got so many IMDb credits. It was a real pleasure to work with Mel, Thomas Churchill, the director. We also had Krista Garotta, who's a scream queen. David Crack from The Killing Fields was also in the video. It was a really wonderful video. It's called Master Plan, and the artist's name is Roland Bolin.
Okay.
And it was just a real pleasure to work with him. I've also collaborated with Mark Savage. He's a very talented indie Australian filmmaker. I worked on Pond Scum with him with my lovely friend Donna Lee Heising, who's very talented. Big shout out to Donna. And it was just a wonderful project. I'm very excited about that. I also recently, my film Love to Fool, Love in the Age of Like is my voiceover animation debut. Screened at the Holly Shorts Film Festival at the Chinese Theater, which is a tremendous honor for me. I never thought that I would be in a film that would screen at the Chinese Theater as a little kid visiting California. So that was a real amazing experience. And that film, other actors that voiced roles in that film were Lisa Kudrow, Janine Garofalo, and Fred Willard.
Okay.
So I was in really great company. And the director, writer, animator was Dominique Polcino. And Dominique is an Emmy-nominated director for The Simpsons. He's worked on King of the Hill. He's worked on Family Guy. He's tremendously, tremendously talented. And just to be directed by him in the booth was an amazing, amazing experience.
Okay. So, Vida, how did you get into acting?
You know, I always really wanted to do it, but the opportunities, like I said, on the East Coast were very slim. In the DC area, it's mostly industrials and such.
Right.
I did do a lot of plays. I performed in my Black Box Theater at University of Maryland, but I didn't really get to do as much as I'd wanted. It's not really a film and TV town. It's gotten better now that there's House of Cards, but I think it's mostly all that stuff is in Baltimore. There really wasn't much in the DC area. So I got my start out in California via my journalism background. I was a host
Right.
for 5 years on Persian TV on entertainment shows. I would cover lots of red carpets. I think the biggest red carpet I ever covered for Persian TV was the Katie Holmes, Queen Latifah movie Mad Money. I also covered the Hannah Montana premiere, which was an experience.
Really?
So that was great. And through that, I would often play reporters. And because, you know, my friends that were filmmakers would be like, hey, you should come, you know, audition for this, or my agents at the time would submit me for that. So I'd often play reporters. But all this time that I would be doing this, I was taking classes in acting and improv, in Alexander technique, in voiceover, just in different realms of acting, scene study. I did all sorts of classes, and I really enjoy the creative process. So basically, it was one hand, lifting the other. I also did a lot of voiceover when I was at Persian TV because I speak, perfect English. I was born and raised here.
Okay.
It's my first language, so I would do the promos at Farsi in English, and that just led to more voiceover work. I put a demo together, and then I ended up getting representation. I have representation in Portland, Oregon, and Los Angeles, and I might be signing with an agency in Virginia. So
Okay.
things have been good for voiceover, and also I recently did this wonderful film, Natural Born Filmmakers, again with my lovely friend Donna Lee Heising. Also, shout out to Gregory Blair. They're very fun and comedic. It was a Steve Oakley, Melanie Grunder film. They were wonderful in it. I really enjoyed doing that, so that was a great experience.
Okay. Yeah. Now growing up, did you always want to act?
I did. I think that's my true love. Journalism comes to me very naturally,
Okay.
but I really, really do love acting. I really love the collaborative process. There's no feeling in the world like being on a set. Being on a set is a tremendous, tremendous feeling, and I love the teamwork behind it. And I think of all the different kinds of acting, all the classes I took, all the shows that I did. I performed at iOS. I performed at Second City. I performed at Upright Citizens Brigade. I think the thing that I love the most is improv because, like acting, it's a collaborative effort. Everybody has to, do their best and bring it to the table. And I found with improv, that's what I really enjoy doing.
Improv is fun.
Improv is the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
And you're from a city of improvisers.
Yeah.
Chicago's a great town. You must love it.
Yeah. It's fun. I went to thing for it was called Stage 773 up on Belmont on the north side, and it was a improv thing that was being done by Jeff Hoover, which he's the associate producer for WGN Morning News. Oh my God,
Right.
it was just fun. It was just fun to watch. Yeah, we
It's
have
wonderful, and I have to tell you, I mean, there's Improv Olympic out here in California, but I don't think, I have the same instructors that people in Chicago do, but I think Chicago has a special energy. I'm going to have to go to Chicago one day just to, visit and just have an improv trip, just to check out Second City, to check out the Annoyance Theater, to check out Improv Olympic. I'm dying to go, and I have a lot of friends here that perform there that are from there, so I'm sure I'd know a lot of the people that would be performing, but yeah, it's on my to-do list is to go to Chicago and have an improv, week or weekend would be tremendous.
And there's a couple of these theaters that are teaching it too, like
Yeah, and a lot of the teachers travel, but I think there's a different energy there than it is here. This is a show business town.
Yeah.
That's mostly a theater town, so I
Yeah.
think there's a different energy. I mean, it's good here too. And a lot of these Chicago people are on series now, of course, Amy Poehler, who I mentioned,
Oh, yeah.
who has her own school and company, but it's like my friends from Chicago, the things they tell me is just incredible. So I love long form improv. I've done long form and short form. I have to say short form always turns out better.
Yeah.
Once in a while, long form does turn out good, but there's something to be said about short form. So it's just a tremendous experience, and I love dealing with comedy and comedic actors, and most of the things I do are comedic. Lately, I've been doing a lot of horror movies. I've been doing horror movies in the past, but lately a lot of horrors and thrillers. But I really, really love the comedy, and oftentimes with the horror films, I notice that a lot of my roles are like lighthearted comedic roles. Like it's like the lighthearted comedic character, amongst all the drama. I'm usually the friend of the girl that's, the main girl, or some fun character role. So there's a little bit of humor injected in the roles that I play. So that's great fun as well.
Okay, is there a favorite actress that inspires you the most?
God, I have to say I'm inspired by great comedy. I love the vintage SNL. I love old actors. Like I love Carol Burnett. I love the comedy. I would grow up watching Carol Burnett reruns.
Yeah.
I love Flip Wilson. I love old
Flip
comedy
Wilson,
in the
yeah.
70s. But the problem is today, there's great comedy and there's great women in comedy. Like look at Amy Poehler that I mentioned.
Yeah.
TSA, they have that big movie coming out. I think it's the strides of women in making a comedy are great. I wish there were more.
Yeah.
But I love the old comedy for some reason. The really shticky 1970s sketch comedy. I love the old SNL.
Yeah.
There's great comedians now, but there's something to be said about like vintage Chevy Chase, vintage Eddie Murphy. They're really killing it. I mean, modern day comics I like are Chris Rock. But, I mean, I do really like the old school comics. I love Richard Pryor. I'm a big fan of the 80s, you can tell. But I do like the comics nowadays. There's really good things coming out and really good comics coming out. So I love how there's the Judd Apatow movies are funny. Lena Dunham is funny. Mindy Kaling is amazing to be a minority and a woman.
Yeah.
I was actually on the pilot of her show, and I have to say Mindy is an amazing dresser. And
really?
She was just killing it on the Mindy project. So, kudos to her. She's a real inspiration to me. I didn't really get to interact with her much because she's the lead actress. She's the executive producer. So she had she had her fingers in a lot of pies, as they say. But she was tremendous. There's tremendous women in comedy nowadays doing amazing, amazing things. And Aziz Ansari has his own show, and I'm also inspired by him too.
Okay. Is there a favorite actor you've worked with?
That inspires me? Well, Mindy definitely inspired me. Gosh, I've worked with so many amazing people. I think the people that I'm going to be working with soon are very inspiring. I'm going to be working with Thomas J. Churchill.
Okay.
He's a very, very renowned filmmaker, and I'm going to be doing a mob movie with him. I can't really reveal too many details, but it's a wonderful film. He's a great writer. The film stars Lorene Landon, who was in Maniac Cop 1 and 2. She was in Airplane 2. Again, Mel Novak from Game of Death.
Okay.
Game of Death and Black Belt Jones. Chris Negrata, who I just worked with on the video. So there's going to be some amazing, amazing people in these projects. And of course, Churchill is going to be in the film as well. So I find them to be inspiring. Working with Mel was a great experience. He's a consummate professional. I just worked with him on that video. So that was a wonderful experience. And just so many amazing people. Working with Mark Savage is great. Working with Donna Lee Heising is wonderful. Gregory Blair is incredible. I'm also going to be doing Circus of Dread, another film with Mark Savage. And that stars Donna and Bill Oberst Jr. And I am a huge Bill Oberst Jr. fan. I cannot wait to work with him. So that's a tremendous thing. I'm very excited about that. I worked with Christy McGinnity Gibble recently, who was great. John Mack, who was amazing. Of course, the lovely Kristen West. So that was a great experience. But yeah, I'm just excited. There's a lot of great projects that I'm working on. I'm going to be doing a Western. I never thought someone of Middle Eastern descent, but I'm actually going to play an American frontier woman in a Western, the Rick Grote film. So I'm very excited about that. That's going to be in early 2016 as well.
What is this Western about? Can you talk a little bit about it?
I can't really reveal much about it, but I know that it's a great Western, and Rick Grote is a great Western actor.
Okay.
And I believe it's Copperhead Creek is the film that I'm going to be in.
Okay.
And there really aren't many details out about it yet. but it's a great film. It's about a guy who's got to protect his family when there's a group of murderous, wanted men in their village. And I think the tagline on that is "Bad men won't be tolerated; they will be dead." So that's the story behind that. I'm very excited about that. He's a very, very talented guy, and he's very well known in the Western circles. There's a big Western community. I think most of them, they're in Santa Clarita. They have their own community. They have their own events. They have their own awards. And I really, tremendous respect for these actors. They're very, very talented people. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm also going to be working on a number of other projects that I'm very eager about. I will be working with a director that I'm a huge, huge fan of. He's a multi-award-winning filmmaker. His name is Gregory Hatnaka.
Okay.
He's with Cinema Epoch, and I love his films. He did Samurai Cop 2: Deadly Vengeance, which, in my opinion, was far better than the original Samurai Cop. He also did this incredible film, called Mad Cowgirl. He's done really great movies. He recently directed Hunter, Future Cop. And he uses a really talented ensemble of actors. He uses James Duval, who's in Independence Day and Donnie Darko, Christine DeBelle, who was in Meatballs. She was also in Samurai Cop 2. Again, Mel Novak from Bruce Lee's Game of Death. And once again, Thomas Churchill. So I'm very excited to be working on this film, Darling Nikki. It's a great, great film. Gregory is a wildly, wildly talented filmmaker, and I'm just really excited to be working with him on that project. And it's a really, really cool film.
That's good.
I was talking with his friend the other night, Chico. He's in Canada. He's a Canadian filmmaker, and he had mentioned that in some countries they have a new rating that they're giving films an F rating, which means the storyline and everything, the whole theme of the movie is female centric. Okay.
Nice.
And I went looking for those something like that last night, and I found this one film called I.
Yeah.
And it was a female centric film. What's your take on this sort of thing, female centric films where the whole storyline revolves around the lead character is a female, and what's your take on that sort of thing?
It's very interesting you should say that. I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's this thing called the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
Where if it's a scene with two women, if there's anything besides men, them talking about men, like their frustrations with men or not having a man,
right,
it passed the test. I think the Hollywood Reporter did a story on this. Very few movies, unfortunately, mainstream movies, pass these tests.
Really?
Indie films really pass these tests, and a lot of the people that I will be working with and have been working with pass these tests. I think it's great to talk about the women experience, the female experience. Women buy tickets, women go see movies, women go support. We're probably half, if not more, the population. So that's wonderful, in my opinion. But my one concern with that is, while I do like female-centric films, I don't want there to be and I am a feminist, but I don't want it to be like a manifesto. I want a female film to be empowering, not a let's hate all the men film and let's, murder them, because that's honestly that's what horror movies are about. So I'd want a female-centric film, but I'd want it to have a positive message. I feel like as a young woman growing up, when I was a young gal growing up in Maryland, I would see Wonder Woman reruns. I would see Bionic Woman reruns. Those were very empowered women.
Yeah.
They didn't go around hating on men. So as long as it's something positive, I'm all for it. I mean, the new Supergirl is out. There's
I like Supergirl.
I think you would probably like this I movie. It's spelled EYE, like the eye, like someone's eye. I think you would really like this one because it's a horror
movie. I'll have to look that up. And the guy's name is Chico.
Oh no, that's not the director of it. The director I was talking to in Canada, but it was on a separate path there where I went off and looked for films on Comcast over here and found that film on there and watched it. And I think you'd really like this one because it is a horror movie, and it's female-centric. The main character is female, and it doesn't have anything in there bashing men or hunting men down or anything like that. Yeah, that would be
exactly. Well, I think there was a report recently that said that women are really underserved in the media, so that's nice. And I will say, living in Los Angeles, there's some great groups for women. There's Women in Film. I'm a part of Ms. and Ms. And there's some great organizations for women, and hopefully that'll turn up more for women in film. There'll be more opportunities for women in film. So that's wonderful. I'll have to check out this movie. But yeah, I think this, it's still not as many opportunities, but I think the tide is changing and turning for women in film, hopefully.
Right. So you want to talk about anything else? Anything else you're involved in or working on?
Sure. I just want to give a little bit of more of a shout out to Gregory Hatanaka. I'm very excited about Darling Nikki. It's about a carefree, fun-loving girl played by Nicole D'Angelo. She's juggling the men in her life, and she's in a constant quest for love. See, it's another female-centric film. She soon falls for the fantasy world where she's no longer able to distinguish her real life with her secret one, and I played the character Risa. So that's a lot of fun. I'm also going to be doing a mob movie with Thomas J. Churchill. I'm very excited about that. So it's a lot of exciting developments, and I also have my fashion and beauty blog, soveryvita.com.
Okay.
And looking forward to some great projects. If I can give a shout out to my wonderful manager, Matt Chasen, who introduced me to you, also to my amazing publicist,
Matt's the
Joe
best.
Williamson, who is hooking me up with some wonderful projects.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I'm very excited for the 2016, and thank you so much for bringing me on your show. And I guess if you want to find me under IMDb, you can go to imdb.me
Okay.
/ Vida Ghaffari, VIDAGHAFF like Frank ARI. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under Vida Ghaffari, VIDAGHAFF like Frank ARI. Thank you so much, you guys. It's been a real honor to be on your show.
Yeah, Vida, I was very, very grateful to talk to you again, and I really look forward to this. And hopefully we'll have you on again in the future with anything else that you're working on too. But
great. I would absolutely be honored. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. You always have my love, strength, and support with anything you do. And you got a lot of good things going. Really do. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you. It was a true honor. Thanks again.
Sure. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. You have a great Sunday. And what are you doing for Christmas?
I don't know. I kind of keep it simple. I usually volunteer. Sometimes I go to the Midnight Mission, but usually everybody on Earth volunteers on Christmas. I like to volunteer like a few days before. Usually just spend time with my family and, eat too much food and celebrate and, all that. But yeah, I'll probably just be with my family on Christmas. I wish you and your viewers a very, happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays all around to all your listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy holiday to you, and happy holidays to your family and loved ones too. So, again, thank you. Thank you for being with us this afternoon, and you take care and God bless.
Thank you, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. That was Vida Ghaffari. Hope you enjoyed that interview. This is Dan Lupinski, host of the Dan Lupinski radio program, and we're broadcasting live from the south side of Chicago from the karaokezone.com. And if you're interested in producing your own internet radio podcast show, go to thekaraokezone.com, look for Rich Munich. Say hi, Rich.
Hi, Rich.
And Rich will help you get your show going, and he does a good job too. He really does. And it's a very, very, very nice place to do your show from too. The coolest place in Chicago to do your
There's
show
no
from.
heat in here. That's it.
So anyway, thank you for joining me. But remember this: no act of kindness, no matter how small, is never wasted. So you guys have a great Sunday. Have a great rest of your week. Go Bears, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.